5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Ooh. Here I am, and here is Kate. Hello, I'm pressing the wrong buttons there. How are you doing, Kate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Not so well, unfortunately.
No, I'm about over it now. 80% better or so. But yeah, I've had a rough old Christmas, unfortunately, with this hacking cough that seems to be going round. But I'm feeling much brighter.
Should do what I do, see, drown it out with alcohol.
I know, I should have done, really. I don't know what I was thinking buying this Benelin shit. I should have just drank through it, really.
Yeah, just pour the alcohol straight out the bottle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't bother with watering it down or mixing it with anything. You know? But yeah, it's going round, unfortunately. But Happy New Year to you.
And to you.
And I've got to say a Happy New Year as well to Geordie, Tune for Life. Happy New Year to you both. I wish you both health and happiness, and back at you, Geordie. I hope Leicester stay up despite these mad PSR rules which stop owners from either trying to survive or be competitive. Indeed, I can't add anything to that, and I won't do because that will take us into another show. And we only have an hour. This is this is a business lunch, isn't it? Really? I mean, hang on a second. Just get me credit card out for you. Oh, sorry, that's my Iceland bonus card. You take that?
No, sorry.
Can't even use luncheon vouchers these days, can you? But no, welcome back. Second show, but we'll hopefully do this regularly during the year. It's going to be an interesting one if we can do it next week, because obviously it's the FA Cup match. So there might be a few changes for that. But yeah, what we're going to do today, and look, if she looks beautiful there, guys, and I mean, I must admit, avert your eyes away from me.
No, this is like the thumbnail there, and then me today is like Instagram versus reality, isn't it? Yes, you go to bed with Marilyn Monroe and you wake up with a bag of chips. Sorry about that, guys.
Joe Grand, allegedly. But let's just get even sexier, guys. Here we go. Kate in a football gear.
Is that supposed to be me?
That is you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Well,
it's nothing like me.
Well, it is
from a bit of a mare there.
From the neck upwards.
I'm not having it.
I'll send it you so you can look at it close up. But you can see I've got a new toy, can't you?
Yeah.
But let's get into it. I've got to say, first of all, again, let's say hi to LCFC forever. Hello, mate. The game against Wolves, you may well have seen my posts on that. Not happy. Not happy at all. I mean, I'm doing a show later with Tom, the blame game, and we're allocating up to 100% as to whose fault our current predicament is. The players against Wolves were a disgrace. Absolutely shameful. But against Liverpool and against Manchester City, yes, we lost both of those games, but the performance was a lot better. And that's the sort of performances that we need. Unfortunately, those aren't the games that are going to keep us up.
No, they're not. And I mean, there's a couple of ways to look at that Wolves result in a way. It can be either the start of quite a promising Christmas period in the end, that with each game that passed, our performance got better, even though we got no points, because the Manchester City performance was really good and probably our best 90 of the season.
Yeah, agreed.
There's a massive argument to say that we're improving under Rude, and that's starting to happen now. We're starting to see a bit of a change of the tide, and, there's a turning of the screw in terms of getting some old habits in the bin. But you could also look at it on the negative side, in that with the Wolves game, that's the one that mattered. And that's the one where something was expected and we fell way short of it. The team didn't really turn up. It was a really poor, lackluster, dour performance. And you could argue the Liverpool and Man City were free hits, so the pressure wasn't there. So is that why we could perform a bit better? Because you're not expected to get anything from that. So there's two ways of looking at it. I'd like to think it's the former for me. I like to think that we are on the up and getting a bit better. And I'm hoping that we can continue that performance into tomorrow.
Oh, God, fingers crossed. Because Villa, yes, all right, they're the top half, but they're competing in Europe. They're not the Villa that they were last season. So I am feeling a bit hopeful. Geordie there, obviously, he's on his way into town because he must have a Specsavers appointment. Put yourself down, Kate. Sorry, Kate. That was below the belt. That I do apologise.
Geordie Toon, can I sub you out and get you as a host instead?
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's have a look at the team you've gone for. This is the team that you think will get something, and I have to say, I will stop doing this, but I agree with you in all 11 positions, to be honest with you. So let's have a look, and we're going to start obviously with the back line. And we'll put the goalkeeper in there as well. Extremely pleased that you haven't gone back for Danny Ward.
We need to switch the goalkeeper for Jakob.
Indeed. What have I done there? Hang on a second, because I did put Jakob in. Something has happened. I'm still drunk from New Year. That's what it is.
Gremlins have come in.
Yes, the gremlins. We'll blame the gremlins. What is going on here? Yes. Right, this could get very interesting then. I may well... Murray.
Is it going to be a bit Russian roulette who's going to appear in goal next? Why should we fiddle about with the squad?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
He's a utility player.
I think I've just copied and pasted the wrong one. So everybody, hashtag it's Salarchik, not Hermansen, because he could be out for a while. Salarchik hasn't looked too bad though, has he?
No, I really like Salarchik. I think last year when he played in some of the cup games, I thought he looked on par with Mads in certain areas. Obviously, more of Mads' quality does shine through more than Jakob's for sure, but he's getting over quite a serious injury. I think he broke his ankle, didn't he? And he's come back into the deep end. He's made his Premier League debut off the back of being 2 weeks out on the grass following a serious injury. I don't think even in his wildest dreams he could foresee that happening. So I thought he's done quite well. He could have done better, arguably, for the Man City goal. But I think it's one of them with Jakob where I feel quite confident that he's not doing that again. I hope I've not jinxed it, but I feel really confident with him in goal as a replacement for Mads. And I think most fans felt the same. Like he does command his box. He is tight on saves and shot stopping. He's very agile. His distribution perhaps needs a bit of work, but again, we've only had him back a few weeks and he's got a new manager to get used to as well.
I think had Salarchik been fit and not injured, I don't think we would have seen Ward.
Yeah, I totally agree. Salarchik was just a little bit short probably off being on the grass when we played Ward a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, Danny Ward, I don't think we will ever see wear a Leicester shirt again, to be honest.
No. I mean, he's only got 6 months left on his contract, so I don't think we will. I don't think he'll go, to be honest with you. which is a shame. But sometimes money means more than the position to some players, as we know. I think Everson's deal is up as well.
I thought he had a bit longer left. I'm not sure.
Right. But,
I'm not sure actually, but yeah, I mean, it was interesting why he picked Ward over Everson against Wolves. That was a bit of.
I think Everson's been injured as well, hasn't he?
Has it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, he was. Well, yeah, maybe so. I mean, Ward has been the number 2 on the bench all the while under Cooper.
Yeah.
So it would suggest perhaps there is a problem with Everson, but I wasn't aware of an injury. Maybe that would explain it. But similarly, he has come straight onto the bench when Mads has been out injured, so he can't be that injured. But maybe
we'll probably never know. But like you say, we are really looking at sort of the end of Ward, I think, like you say, at Leicester. I mean, I've got to ask you, if you don't mind me asking you, looking at Ward, what did you think of the booing?
I'm totally against it. I don't know what good that does, unless he's intentionally trying to sabotage the team or done something offensive to you. Why you would boo your own player in thinking that would improve his performance is totally upside down thinking to me.
100%. And I was on
because he doesn't want to be shit. Let's remember that.
No, he doesn't.
He didn't ask to be picked necessarily either. But the booing was, from what I've read as well, 90% of people thought the same thing, in that it's just not on. And I don't know what do you expect to happen with that?
I went to the, as you know, I went to the Bournemouth FA Cup game a couple of seasons ago, and I was my ticket was behind the Bournemouth goal. When they were attacking in the second half, they I can't remember who it was, but one of their strikers, they were absolutely anti, if you like, and every time he got the ball, he booed, and he was awful. But that booing certainly did not help. Not during the game. I'm sorry, there's just no need for it at all. As what have you? But look, let's move on. Like I say, as I've said there, it is still Archie in goal and not Hermansen. I've just checked my artwork, and I've got Hermansen there. I don't know what I was doing. Wishful thinking, possibly. I don't know. This is a department we need to strengthen in the window. We're being linked with every centre back going, probably even if they're 10 years old, in somebody's under 12s. Right back, I think we'll all accept that. To me, that is the number one spot we need to be looking at. But you've gone for the 11 that made it against Manchester City.
Yeah, pretty much. So the back 4 there, for me, I know others may differ, but for me, Cody and Vestergaard are the calmest seas in our defensive waters of centre-back pairing.
Yeah,
I admit both have got their shortcomings with pace potentially, but I do feel that both are making the back line inherently better than it was previously. And it was a low bar, don't get me wrong, but I feel like having that sort of partnership there with that experience, crucially, I think when the defence is flagging like it is and they're bleeding so many goals, I do think experience is worth a lot of weight at this moment in time. Centre back I think is needed. I would be interested to see a Coley in there as well. Like if he picked a Coley, I have no problem with that. Any 2 of those 3. But as I'll say on repeat, Wout Faes has used up all of his chances or community chests or whatever you call it to have to go in the starting lineup, because he's just so erratic. And as much as his pace might make up for it, and he does come out with some great tackles from time to time, his spectrum of performance is way too big compared to the others. And then, BK, I think we've not really got any other choices there, to be honest. Ricky P being injured, and then I don't think Luke Thomas is quite where we need him to be, unfortunately.
I've got to say hello to Brad, who's also been ill as well. Maybe you two have got too close, but he has said no Super Danny Ward, Kate out. This comes from Danny
I didn't realise I was
Ward.
in.
He loves a bit of Danny Ward, does Brad? But apparently, Danny Ward was the only player that we played a formation of one against Wolves, and that was just Danny Ward. Apparently, nobody else played. Oh, I'm starting off an old discussion there with Brad. I agree with you. Look, Cody and Vestergaard, they are the most experienced ones. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Ricky P back on a regular basis. I think he is turning into a bit of a sick note. Although it does worry me today that we've been linked with Kieran Tierney from Arsenal, who is just coming back from injury. Oh, God, not another one. I mean, we should have so many sick notes. But you have got the experience with Cody and Vestergaard. Yes, look, we haven't got the speed, but if they're used right, those have got to be the two that are there. I think Justin and Christensen should be vying for the left back place. I don't think Justin's should be on the right, but like you say, what else other choice have we got at the moment? And hopefully we can bring a new right back in. But yeah,
in Justin's defence as well, I feel like a lot of people are getting on his back because there is definitely some question marks over some of his performances, but also I think he has been put out to dry a bit, really, especially in the old Cooper system where he just wasn't dealing with that right-hand side and he had no protection from the winger when attacking teams were coming down that side. And I do think after a while, and probably having many discussions with Cooper and him not changing it and him not setting up to help him out more, I think JJ's become mentally quite exhausted and exasperated, and he needs a bit of time out of the team, I think, just to mentally recover, because I think he's a really good player. I don't think there's anything wrong in his pace. Despite his injury, his pace looks great still. I quite like him going forwards, although I don't think he does it enough. But he's been hung out to dry a bit, and it just becomes glaringly obvious when there is another goal down that right-hand side. He's the easy one to pick on. And don't get me wrong, sometimes he is at fault, but we don't put the measures in place to try and protect that in any way.
No. It was. I think that was against. I think it was against Manchester City. But like my mind's a bit alcohol fueled, so I could be another game. But just James Justin was pulled into the centre to cover a player, and then the player from the opposition player came down that right hand side, their left, our right. Nobody was there covering. But if Justin had gone out to cover that player coming down, then there would have been a player free in the middle. There was, like you say, there was no backup there. And I know when we graded him on where after Cooper left and me and Brad graded all the players, we did say with Justin that the grade had to be taken into account that he wasn't playing in his favoured position.
Yeah, for sure.
But look, like you say, at the moment, needs must. Samari, let's talk about Samari first. I mean, it's like a new signing, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he feels like it. Yeah, unbelievable. I think we all thought, even up until the summer, early parts of this season, that it was one of those another dud signings, really, that we weren't going to get anything for. We paid some money out. We've not seen really a performance of him. I think we could probably all say that there's a player in there somewhere, but we didn't think we were going to be the ones to get it out of him. And to be fair to Cooper, there's not many things he did right, but whatever he said to Samare, or whatever coaching methods he did, or whether he's just a coming of age thing, and I've heard before he's had personal problems, whether they're all sorted now and he's just been able to play freely without worry, I don't know. But watching him at full pace around the football pitch is a delight to see. It's peak Yaya, isn't it? And
yes.
He could be really instrumental. He still blows a bit hot and cold, but I think that's getting better. And he's a real powerhouse to deal with in that central part.
He is, and I was screaming for ages that we had nobody in that centre midfield or defensive midfield, a Roy Keane type that would put the boot in. Yes, we know Chowdhury could do, but we had nobody regular that was in there that you would be running towards and think, "Oh, I don't fancy that." But Sumar is that player for me.
Yeah, me too. He can sometimes go a little bit missing, like in the Man City game for the first 15 minutes. I really did forget he was on the pitch. So I don't know whether it's a confidence thing that he has to find himself in each game and, sort of test the waters a bit before he starts playing. I don't really know, but he's getting better and better. I'd like to see him sort of be more instrumental in some of the goals. I think that's where some of his numbers will need to come up in terms of his passing, his key passes, his assists. But we definitely miss him when he's not been around. Like when he was suspended that game, it was, you miss that physicality in the middle of the park.
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, Brad said there, redemption be thy name, Demore, my new Nacho man. I'm pleased for the player as well. And I think we have to accept, not every single player just comes into a new team and fits in perfectly. I mean, whatever we think about Fofana, it was like he'd been here for years when he started playing for us. Samari, it's taken a bit longer. It's taken a loan move out. A new manager comes in, and sometimes you need a bit of luck. And he came in that one game, and we suddenly went, "Oh, who's this?" And it changed everything. But no, it's nice to have him back. And I think he's one of the first names on that team sheet, to be honest with you now.
You're right, yeah.
As his Winks, and a lot of people have said, he's not, or a lot of Tottenham fans said he's not a Premier League player. And at the start of the season, he looked a little bit sort of out of sorts, but who didn't under Steve Cooper? But look, we need experience, which is one thing Cooper did kind of get right. We do need experience.
Yeah, but with all due respect, I'm not taking any advice of what is and what isn't Premier League level from Tottenham Hotspur.
No, that's very true at the moment, isn't it? They are
going more feast and famine than those at the moment.
Exactly. They are the bride's knickers on a wedding night. Sort of team, up and
yeah,
down.
Winks is just instrumental.
Yeah.
The problem that Winks has had, he doesn't have a partner that's up to his level. He can't do it on his own. So if he's isolated or he doesn't have a decent partner that can play the ball, he can look rubbish because his pass completion might be poor, his movement might be poor, he gets trapped in the defence too much. But when we play the free-flowing football that we showed against Manchester City, he's just brilliant for us. He's one of our Rolls-Royce players, and he's so easy on the ball, and he's got that football brain. He can spray it about. Yeah, I like Harry a lot. I like Harry a lot.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I don't think the midfield is an area we need to worry about in the transfer window. There's a lot more important areas. And I've got to say, should one of those get injured, for me, you've got Harry Skip there, again, who's had the experience. And
Oliver Skip.
Oliver Skip. Who did I say? Harry
Skip.
Well, his brother, Oliver, which is the one we signed, I have confidence in him coming in because I've not been disappointed with him when he's played. But like I say, I think that area is good for us. Moving on into the midfield or attacking midfield, you've resisted. I have to say, it must have been a strong pull to bring Ayew back in because he's obviously fit again. And look, I love Jordan Ayew, and I take it all back because I wasn't his biggest fan when we signed him. I'm thinking, what the hell, this guy, 3-year contract, surely that'll make him 50 when he leaves. He has his moments. I don't think he's a starter, though. I think he is an impact player midway through the second half. If you need a goal or if you need somebody to go on and hold the game up and fall over and get you a free kick to break play up, he's your man. But those three, obviously, if Fatu was fit, it may be different. But Ruud van Nistelrooy, first of all, has come out and said, I hope I wasn't misunderstood, Renete's not going anywhere. Which is,
yeah, he kind of said Buonanotte and Edouard are still our players.
Yes.
So, I mean, in true politics,
one of those is good.
He's not lying, is he? They are still our players for now.
Yeah. But apparently, Buonanotte's played too many minutes.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
To pull back, which I think is a case of us with Cannon. To be honest,
I think they'd have triggered it by now, wouldn't they? If they wanted him back, they'd have taken him back as soon as the window opened to avoid injury. But those front three I thought did really well against Manchester City. I feel like Mabadidi still has some work to do, but you could argue that he can only adjust if he plays, and he's definitely better than Ayew in terms of trying to, beat his man and put balls in the box, which is what we need him to do. But I did feel, again, like we missed out on that a bit against Manchester City. It's all well and good playing some really easy on the eye stuff around the fringe areas, but if you're not getting it into the key danger areas, which we just didn't do enough, then the wingers aren't necessarily doing their job. But I feel like Mabadidi's earned his starting place. I feel like each performance, like I thought he did, as much as he did brilliantly against Liverpool at Anfield, he also had some of his worst moments at Anfield where he, didn't run the ball into touch during the half, as we led up to half time, lost the ball and they went down and scored. Like, just showing that maturity within a match to run down the clock and get to half time. So he's a bit hot and cold again, but I think sometimes he just needs a bit of belief in him, and he needs to play a bit more regularly, and he is definitely a better option than Ayew.
Yeah. Forgive me if I am freezing a little bit. My internet at the moment is being a Spurs up and down. The weather down here, as it is all over the place, is awful at the moment. So I know I'm freezing at this end. So
you're not. You're okay here.
I'm like, well, if I do freeze or I don't answer you, just carry on talking because I'm frozen at this end. Let it go. Anyway. Yeah, as Brad said, though, Ayew is Mr. Ron Seal. LCFC, I've not heard this. Spurs are wanting Buenete. Well, we'll see. I mean, if they do go in with an offer, that might be in the, that Brighton will take him back to sell him. I think Brighton will want him back to develop him, to be honest with you. But we will see. Look, it's not often that this happens, but after the Man City game, Brad, that's me, Chris, by the way. Chris, Brad, Jim, Kate, that's you, and Alan, we all agreed on the same man of the match, a certain Mr. El Canoes. What a game. He actually outshone Buenete.
Well, I feel like the past two games he's played really well, and for me now, he's the best player in the team. He was just unbelievable against Manchester City. Like, he had something to do. Don't die on me. You all right there? Are we okay?
Oh, God. I froze again. I froze.
You froze, nearly died, and I'm just sitting here laughing.
Don't worry, I didn't see you laughing because I had frozen.
But yeah, El Canoes was just a little magician in that first half. His ball control, he just worked really hard as well. Like, defensively, he was doing great. He did a crossfield pass at one point. I think it was to JJ, and he was just everywhere, and he was a delight to watch. I'm a bit worried that he does it in front of someone like Pep Guardiola. Like, keep your hands off, mate. But
you did have a word in him at the end, didn't you?
Yeah, but he was just brilliant to watch. And if that's the type of improvement that he makes game on game, and that's the type of player that we've bought, and he's only 20 years old, it's so exciting for him and us. But again, we need to see some of the key stats now. We need to see some assists. We need to see some goals. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again tomorrow. Oh, you have frozen.
Have I frozen again?
Yeah, you're frozen mid-nose blow, which is super attractive.
I think I could have frozen again.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you? Oh, I think I might be. Am I back?
You're back.
I'm back from outer space. Your internet signal is lower than Manchester United's league position. Can I just say on that, I just want to sidetrack us very, very quickly. But I did put a post up saying that Ruud van Nistelrooy may use his Manchester United connections to go and get a couple of signings from. I've frozen again, haven't I?
No, you've not. You're okay.
I'm okay. There might be he uses connections to get a couple of players from Manchester United, sorry. And somebody put in the comments, best comment, I don't think this is going to be beaten all year. And he went, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. I was absolute. I thought that was brilliant. Now, so those three, I've got to say, Mavididi, look, he's got to get better with time. It's the only way that, got to play better. So with more games you play, it's the only way you do improve, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of a bit of the winger mentality, isn't it? That they can be a bit hot and cold and they can be a bit up and down with performances, because wingers are quite emotive individuals, aren't they? They can strop, they can sulk about stuff. They can have an absolute blinder of a game when they think they've got the lick of the fullback. I will say about Mavididi, he definitely had the lick of Trent Alexander-Arnold. That won't ever be commented on Sky, of course, but he definitely did. And Trent didn't know what to do. And I think the last time we played Liverpool, whoever it would have been on the left side also had Trent. So
he took Trent off, didn't he, in the end, and changed
it? He did, yeah. But he did really well. So it's those things, and we saw it a bit with Harvey Barnes, that if he doesn't think he can beat his fullback, he kind of gives up at the first attempt and doesn't try it again.
Yes.
Whereas I'd like to just see him persevere and keep knocking on the door, because all he's got to do is foul you and he's on a booking for the rest of the game. You've got to sort of play a bit smarter there, I think, Mavididi. But he's done really well. His link-up play with the other two has been brilliant as well. So hopefully we'll see that improve again tomorrow.
Now, I did make a mistake in putting Hermansson in instead of Stolarczyk.
Oh, you've done it.
Sorry?
You've sorted it out.
But I've also made a mistake at the up front, because you said you wanted Edouard and I put Vardy in.
Behave yourself. I've got a reputation to protect.
Oh, it needs improving.
I know, very true.
It's and I'll come on to your question as in a minute, but yeah, there's no other choice really, is there? I mean, he's not. We have to accept that he isn't the answer to all our problems. He's not the Vardy of 3-4 seasons ago. Last season it was in the Championship, things were different, but he's the best option we've got.
Well, he's the best option for most clubs, I would think, right now. He's scored 6-7 goals, 7th or 8th in the scoring tally at the moment in the Premier League. His conversion rate is top. From what I hear with Rude, with Jamie himself, with other players, they're all like, he's not aging. He's still super sharp. Even against some of the defenders as well, he's catching them out. The only thing that he has to sort of consider a bit more, and it's been a bit of a problem in the past few matches, more so because we've had some good goal scoring opportunities, is that he's hanging on the back line a lot, which is part of his game to a degree, but he's hanging on to it more so because he's lost a bit of pace. But that means he's getting caught offside a lot. So he just needs to perhaps sharp up on that. But then that's Jamie, isn't it? He will do it to the nearest toenail if he's offside. So that, he very, very nearly got, one-on-one with the keeper when the keeper took him out against Manchester City, and that would have been a Stonewall penalty, I would have thought, but he was like a fraction offside. So he's constantly chomping at the bit, and when corners are done for the opposition, they always leave two with him, really. They can't take their eye off him, which is incredible for a near 38-year-old. Yeah,
I mean, offside was his downfall against Manchester City, unfortunately. But, I mean, look, we've said about Edouard, and it was funny when I put a post up saying that Ruud van Nistelrooy has mentioned that Edouard may be sent back. There was a Palace fan came on just said, no, please. Would you please keep him? Which I think says it all. There was also a post that I've put up, and these are all rumours, obviously, saying that Aka has been offered out, which feels very strange, because to me, if you're going to let anybody go, it is Edouard, and then get another striker in. Or do we keep Edouard and let Aka go?
Oh God, that's a tough choice, isn't it? I would send Edouard back. I think it's a waste of a loan move. If we can loan somebody, given our potential financial predicament, you'd rather have another loan space, I think. I don't think Daka's going anywhere. I think even if we get another striker in, as Abazza says there, that I don't think it's as easy as does that mean Daka goes? Because we don't know who's coming for him. I'm not sure we'd even be looking at offers for Daka right now, because he is the only Vardy replacement at the moment, and it would just be too risky. We know Jamie can't really do midweek, and we've got Palace in midweek coming up in a couple of weeks, and there'll be other fixtures as well as we go into the season. So you've got to have that half-decent striker there in case Vardy, well, when Vardy doesn't make some of the fixtures coming up, and I just don't think that Edouard's going to fit that bill at all. No.
And of course, Edouard won't be able to play against Palace because he'll be loan player. So
yeah,
he won't be able to play. Brad, he stuck his head above the parapet here. I'm going to upset the apple cart here, start Daka against Villa, play the ball in front of him and have him run at their defence and stick Vardy on with 20 minutes to go. Thoughts on that? I mean, that is an option.
I think Brad's talking about the Daka that he wants him to be, not the Daka that he is. Daka can't hit a barn door. We saw him fluff the ball against Liverpool with a really good goal-scoring opportunity, and he doesn't have the venom and the nous to chase the defence down like Vardy does, and probably like Edouard does, to be honest. I feel Daka at moments can look like he can do something, but for the majority of the time chases shadows, and he hasn't got that bite. And I think most fans will know what I mean by that bite, and that I don't know, that just keep pushing, keep plugging away. He just kind of is always sitting back a bit. He doesn't press as much as I would want him to be. So whilst I understand in an ideal world why Brad would say that, I think he's thinking of the Daka that he wants him to be in his head rather than actually what is.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, he said I want Daka to be good so badly. Me too, mate. Me too.
Is it Daka? Is Daka going to be a case of like Samari? We have to give him more time, because he came in at the same time as Samari, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to say he's had a long time. We paid a lot.
And he hasn't had what Samari had, was a season out at another team to get his confidence back up. Daka was dragged through the mire by Enzo, wasn't he, last season?
Well, yeah, to a degree, but Daka still wasted some of his chances. You've got to put them away. That's your number one priority as a striker. He just didn't put his chances away. I wish we were in the kind of better situation where we had a couple of the strikers where we could loan Daka out and maybe get something out of him. But he's just, I don't know, I just find him almost a bit too nice when it comes to playing football. Like, he's the type of guy that apologises for stepping on your toe, whereas Vardy's breaking your ankle for a throw-in. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't want him to be gentle. He's a gentle player. I think there's a potency there, but I don't think we've got it out of him at all.
No, it's creating a bit of a chat, is Daka. Got to say, well, just while Brad's comments up there, the prediction league going for you, Brad. That's all I'll say. And I've got to say, Kate, I think I've gone above you as well.
Oh, stop it. No one likes to show off. We'll see where you are.
Hey, I've had absolutely nothing to show off about in the prediction.
Well, I had a great couple of games to start off the season, and then I knew that I'd just plummet. When you peak too early, mate, the only way is down.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the great escape, I think, because I was bottom for so long, and now I've managed to. I'm getting nosebleeds, I'll tell you. Very quickly, just to run through this, because I appreciate it's your lunch. Well, Kate,
I think the Van Nistelrooy.
Bring back the old Daka back. Look, at the end of the day, I don't think Daka's going anywhere because Van Nistelrooy wanted him at PSV. So, and then David says Daka is not Premier League.
I agree.
Craig says the problem is no one wants Daka. Ez says he has no aggression or strength, which is basically, I think you were agreeing with that.
Same as me.
Yeah, and I've just got to say, Cannon's putting them away for Stoke, and I know it's a different league, etc., etc.
Can he do it on a Tuesday night in Stoke? Yes, he can.
Exactly. Unfortunately, he's got the problem with Leicester that Buenete has with Brighton, and that is he's played too many minutes for them now, apparently. So, and finally, Brad says, very well, if you look at it upside down. Yeah, well... I'm not in Australia
anymore. Talking about there, but I'll just grin and go on.
Yeah. Kate, I'm going to let you go because I say it is your lunch and you'll probably need to get a bite to eat. So thank you very much. Are you going on Saturday?
Yeah, going tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's tomorrow. Bloody hell. My days are all...
It's this time of year where you don't know what day of the week it is.
No, not at all. Well, thank you very, very much for coming on. If you can do the normal things for the watch along, I would be grateful. And hope your cough gets better.
Yeah, me too. You'll hear it. You'll hear it from someone. For sure.
Sure, I will, because, just think, though, could be worse. Could be man flu.
Well, that's often terminal, isn't it? So I'm a bit better than that.
Exactly. I'm glad you appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right. See you later.
Look after yourself. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Kate's links are in the description below. Do get over there and follow her. She knows her stuff, does Kate. But I've got to tell you about a show I'm doing tonight, which could get very, very interesting. Let me just bring this up and then I can show you. The show that we've got, and this is coming up at 7:00 tonight, and this is the Blame Game. We are going to go back to our relegation season and look at the relegation season, last season and this season. We have gone from the team that everybody wanted their club to be. Every fan wanted their club to be run and be Leicester City. Now, nobody wants to be like us. What has got wrong? Who is to blame for it? Is it Top? Buck stops with him. He is the owner. Is it the board? Is it the recruitment department just buying bad players? Is it, as I'm sure he's going to get the majority vote, John Rudkin? When he's not helping Top with his poos, eh, Brad? Is it the managers that we've had? Or is it the players? Well, you don't have to pick one. No. What you got to do is, let me just bring that up again. There we go. What we're doing is we're actually giving 100%. So there's 100 votes, and Tom and myself are going to be giving so many votes to each section. So we may give Top 25 votes out the 100, but it has to come up, obviously, add up to 100 at the end. The usual suspects. I think it will be 7:00 tonight. Be there or be non-spherical. Thanks very much to Kate. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you at 7. And then don't forget, tomorrow, 2:30, it's the watch along. Take care, guys. I'll see you then. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps the channel out. Smash the likes. And it can be $1.99. You can become a member. Cheap as chips. See you later.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.